Family engagement is probably one of the greatest predictors of students' success in schools today. When I started teaching 20 years ago, families were very different than they are today in schools. A lot of my kids 20 years ago came from a two-parent family where moms worked, maybe didn't work. Most of them were white, middle-class families. Today we have many different families in our classrooms. I have kids being raised by grandparents. I have kids being raised by single parents. I have kids going from one home to another home because sometimes they're with mom, sometimes they're with dad. We also have a much more culturally diverse school than we did 20 years ago. We have a few families now that don't speak English at home, and we need to address that in our schools. Family engagement isn't just about parents coming in and volunteering in a classroom. Family engagement is how can parents help their students be successful at home. Parents don't have the kind of time today to work with kids at school that they did 20 years ago. But it's so important for families to be involved in their students' education. How can we as educators help our families be involved with their students? In my school, we have a two-pronged family engagement plan. We have a welcoming committee and we have a student success committee. Both committees are made of teachers, parents, community members, and administrators. At the beginning of every year, these committees set goals for the year. We try and set 3 new goals every year. For our welcoming committee, the 3 goals that we set this year are 1, trying to create more effective communication with our families. That means sending home some of our communication in our family's native language. So if we have families that have Spanish-speaking homes or Vietnamese-speaking homes, trying to get the most important communication in that language so that families feel like they have information about what's going on at school. We're also trying to make our schools feel more welcoming to our families. We have a lot of new security measures in place now because of the way of our school cultures, so parents have to be buzzed in at the door. That can seem a little off-putting, like we don't want people in our schools. We need to change that culture. We need to have welcoming signs and parents understanding why they're being buzzed in. We need the people who are first talking to parents being encouraging and friendly so that they want to enter our buildings. And finally, we are starting this year with a preschool orientation. So we're inviting families into the school before school starts so that they become familiar with the school building and students become familiar with their students' classrooms and teachers so that they feel welcome even before the school year starts. Our student success team, also made up of teachers, parents, community members, and administrators, is there to help parents make their child successful. Again, we have set 3 goals this year. Our first goal is we've looked at our homework policy. Is our homework policy family friendly? We're revamping our homework policy to become more reading based, where parents are either reading to their children or children are reading to their parents. And each grade level is coming up with one family friendly project where the family will work with that student to create a project that they will bring to school. We are also changing our parent conferences. We're putting our first conference sooner in the school year, 8 weeks in. So we're addressing concerns once we've met and worked with children. And then we're adding a second conference in the beginning of March. How are we doing? Are we meeting our goals? Are we teachers and we parents doing enough to help our children succeed? How can we work together to finish off the year? Finally, we are changing our open house so that we are not just teaching parents about what's happening at school, we are going to be teaching parents about what they can do to help their students. So we'll be showing parents about what we do here, but we'll also be helping parents put into place things they can do at school to help their children. Setting up a homework policy at home, setting up a limited amount of screen time, different activities and things parents can do to help their children be successful at school. Finally, At the end of the year, both of these committees will come together and reflect. How did we meet these goals? Were we successful? Did we meet our goals? Do we need to make changes for next year? And how will the committee move forward in the next year to make our family engagement plan even better?